So far, this chapter, we've introduced managerial accounting, and hopefully, you guys are getting more comfortable with what managerial accounting is actually about. But before we go any further, I would like to talk about two big emerging trends that are going on in this field right now as the world gets more and more competitive. And we have global companies, not just regional, national companies, but global companies. It's become more important for companies to identify the best practices now and implement those practices within their own company. So if you're a national company, let's say, or a regional company, you need to be out to identifying what the global leaders are doing in their businesses and what are the business practices that they are using, and you want to implement them. And the process of doing that is called benchmarking. It's the ability to identify the best practices and implement those practices within your own country, within your own company, studying and copying them essentially. And so, as best practices in business come about, other companies benchmark them and essentially copy the companies that are creating these best practices. Two of the processes that companies are trying to copy are what we're going to talk about today, and these are really related to managerial accounting. Number one is total quality management, and the second one is activity-based management. And these are the two that we talk going to talk about in the video today. All right, let's talk about total quality management first. Total quality management is a systematic problem-solving philosophy that encourages frontline workers to achieve zero defects. And it's also an organizational commitment to achieving customer satisfaction. Let's break that down to what we've really been talking about, because when you need to achieve zero defects, you think that total quality management really deals with manufacturing, where we want to make products with no defects, but it actually consists of a lot more than that. When I say zero defect, I mean zero defects in any process along the value chain. And that value chain really consists of the whole process of designing and developing a product and delivering it to the customer. So if you want to think about the value chain, you've got to come up with a product. So you can have, let's say, R&D, research and product development. So you design some product, and then you have to obtain raw materials for the product. So then once we have the raw materials, they have to be manufactured into the product. And then once the product's manufactured, you have to market it to the customers. So we have some marketing over here. Once the product is marketed, the customers hopefully will buy the products and then ask to be delivered to the customers. So this whole process is called the value chain. So we're talking about achieving zero defects anywhere on the value chain. And so we want our frontline workers, and frontline workers could be frontline in R&D, frontline in purchasing for purchasing raw materials, frontline in manufacturing, frontline in marketing, or frontline in delivery. We we all we will all of our frontline workers to strive for zero defects, and they strive for this. They may not achieve this, but that's what they're really going for, and they're looking for ways to continuously improve. And so the quality management, or TQM, the total quality management, as it often is referred to, is about continuous improvement, continuously improving this process, the process of creating the product and delivering it to the customer. And we want to do this with as few defects as possible. Now it's also very customer focused. We're always thinking about customer satisfaction, and we're always doing that throughout the value chain. And it's not just when we're marketing; it's all the way through the process. We're researching and developing. We want to research develop products that the customers are going to want. And when we obtain the raw materials, we're going to obtain them at the highest quality in the best price, and we have the best product for the customer. Same goes for the way we manufacture it, market it, and deliver it to the customers, and it's all customer focused. And really, one of the big shifts in thinking when we think about total quality management is the way we think about the term quality. Before, a lot of times, people thought about quality as a cost. They refer to qualities of cost. If you want to better the product, then you have to improve the quality, but improving the quality increases the cost. If you want zero defects, for example, on your manufacturing line, then you just have to hire more employees to check the product as it goes through the line, and that again reduces the number of defects but improves the quality and then increases the cost. So people kind of sell quality as an increase in cost. Total quality management kind of changes that. With TQM, increasing quality improves the process. So increasing the quality leads to an improvement in this process, and ultimately the final result is the lower cost. So you can have higher quality at a lower cost if the process improves. If you are indeed higher quality, the way of you have obtained the raw materials is higher quality, or manufacturing is higher quality, the way you market is higher quality, and eventually your delivery is also higher quality, and all this is in your process, and your process becomes higher quality, and your cost may actually be lower then. Total quality management deals with shifting the way you think about quality, and you don't think about quality necessarily as high quality means higher cost. You think of it as higher quality means better processes, and better processes in the value chain should lead to lower costs. Okay, so that's TQM basically. All right, another trend in managerial accounting is activity-based management, and activity-based management is another shift in thinking. It's a shift where we're not going to focus on cost, but rather we're going to focus on activities. For a long time, people just focused on cost, but you can't really control cost. Cost is what it is. You can, although, control activities. And so, in activity based management, instead of trying to control cost, we're going to try and control activities. And the idea with activity based management, again, is to figure out what activities are driving costs and then control those activities, and also identifying what activities are value adding and what activities are not adding any value. If you have an activity in the value chain not adding any value from the customer's perspective, and if we don't if you're not doing something that will create a better product at a lower cost for our customers, then that activity has no value. Then it should be eliminated, regardless of the cost. Even if the cost is very small and the activity doesn't add any value, eliminate it. And so with activity based management, really an idea is that we don't want to try to control costs, we want to rather try and control activities, because activities lead to costs and activities are controllable. All right, so those are the two big trends in managerial accounting right now: total quality management and activity based management.